All right, so yesterday we talked about an answer that Elizabeth Warren gave at a candidate forum in South Carolina over the weekend to a very fair, reasonable question about the Democratic primary process posed to her by Amy Goodman. Let's take a look at that.
Let me just, before you finish, are you actually going to ask me to sit here and criticize Iowa and New Hampshire?
No, I'm asking about the order.
No, that is what Iowa and New Hampshire
let me
are all
just
about.
ask, they're two of the whitest states in the country. And then we moved to South Carolina with a very significant population of people of color. And it means the candidates spend so much of their time catering to those first two states. Overall, do you think that should change?
Look, I'm just a player in the game on this one. And I am delighted to be in South Carolina. Thank you.
Terrible answer.
So scornful. I mean, it's
So
such
irritated.
a legit question. All you have to do is be like, yeah, Iowa and New Hampshire are great places. They're not particularly representative, but I have the same working class message for all
No matter where I
Americans.
go. Right.
You know, it's weird because one politician got the memo, I guess, on what we said here, or, you know, he actually just like is a decent political instincts. And even Joe Biden had a better answer than Elizabeth Warren when asked the exact same question. Let's take a listen to his answer.
Should Iowa and New Hampshire remain first, given that they are overwhelmingly white?
They are first. That's what they are now. It's not going to change, and I got to win them both.
But should it change?
No, I don't think so. I'm not going to get into that discussion. Look, it's what it is. It's like asking me whether or not I think there should be the debates the way we're having them today, which aren't debates. It's what it is. It's a fair process. The people of Iowa are extremely informed, as are the people in New Hampshire. Are they representative historically and practically based on race and creed and color of the nation? No, they're not. But that doesn't mean they shouldn't play a major part. And look, one of the reasons why you started with Iowa in the beginning and New Hampshire was to give people who didn't have unlimited money and unlimited resources to be able to compete, because you could come in and you could be here, you could do wear a lot of shoe leather out and going around and making your case to people.
I mean, so
Great answer.
There's a couple things here. I mean, first of all, Joe Biden doesn't posit himself as anything other than a player in the game.
Right.
So for him to acknowledge, like, this is the system, he's the guy who works within the system, is much more palatable. But then he actually can go on and talk about how, yeah, it's not great because they're not representative. Look, I looked it up. Iowa's 9% people of color. New Hampshire is 6% people of color. In a Democratic Party that is increasingly diverse, no, of course it's problematic, right? Just acknowledge that.
And especially Biden, too. His strongest, the only reason he's not doing so well in Iowa and New Hampshire is because they're overwhelmingly white. He does the best amongst people people of color and in minority groups. But what that goes to show is he had a great answer on the. He's like, well, part of the reason it started here is because about retail politicians. There's a lot of value to that. It's like these are basic political instincts, and it's like you said yesterday, the fact that she got so scornful of being like, well, you know, I'm just a player in the game, and just brushing it off, and then even afterwards at the end of that clip, she went to go shake their hand, and she was like, thank you so much, and Warren was like, yeah, just like brushed her off.
She was so irritated.
Distasteful and irritated. She would be deigned to ask a hard question. I mean, if even Joe Biden can give like a pretty standard answer, like what's wrong with you?
It really was not that difficult, but this, you know, she really protects herself from having to answer challenging questions and things that there isn't one right answer on, where it's a little bit politically tricky. She gets completely thrown off. We've seen it time and time again, whether it's questions about her heritage, questions about corruption vis-a-vis Hunter Biden, which is uncomfortable because, you know, he's the friend, maybe she wants to be in his administration. She doesn't want to give Trump a talking point. She doesn't know how to handle those moments where there's a politically treacherous situation. And I got news for you. If you're the nominee, let alone if you're the president, there are going to be a lot of those coming your way.
Yeah, of course there's going to be a lot of coming your way. And that's the other thing. I mean, you can't, half of being president is giving anodyne answers to tough questions, right? I mean, that's actually, seriously, that's like almost half the job. It's actually quite a very important skill, especially in the area of diplomacy. I mean, and that is the one thing where Biden's answer actually wins out. More what it shows is that is what real, like, actual political instincts look like. I bet you that if you asked Bernie Sanders, he would say the same thing. Don't you think so?
Yeah, and it's not like Biden is some like paragon of incredible political virtuosity, you know, but it's a question that gets asked every cycle. You know, it's not the first time this question has ever. presidential candidates get asked this all the time, and so to not have an answer, to get irritated and exasperated that you even get asked the question, it's a bad look, and it, I think, exposes vulnerability there for her.
Yeah, big vulnerability.
Very interesting. All right, stay tuned. More Rising after this.